Hi, kids. If we were meeting in person tonight, we would be learning about a young man named John Mark. We find his story in the Bible, and guess what? He needed a sponsor, and that's our word for tonight. Remember that a sponsor is someone who walks alongside us when we're going through tough times. It is also someone who encourages us and helps us to learn. When John Mark was young, he got to go with Paul and Barnabas on a missionary journey. They were very famous people even then, and you can find their names in our Bible. Paul wrote a lot of the New Testament. So they were pretty formidable people. Well, guess what? He got so far and he just couldn't hack it, and he turned around and he went home. But this is not the end of his story. Paul was not happy with him. And later, when he and Barnabas were getting ready to go on yet another missionary journey, Barnabas wanted to take John Mark with, and Paul said, absolutely not. So Paul and Barnabas's missionary journey team kind of got split in two, and Paul and a man named Silas went one way, and Barnabas and John Mark went another way. But they were all telling the good news about Jesus. Barnabas was patient with John Mark. He encouraged him and he taught him, like a sponsor might. Because of this, John Mark grew and grew. He learned more and more about the good news of Jesus. The interesting thing about this whole deal is that after some time had passed, John Mark and Paul became very good friends. So they were reconciled, and that was a good thing. Even later than this, John Mark wrote the book of Mark that we find in our Bibles today. A lot of this probably goes back to the fact that Barnabas was a good encourager and teacher. He was a good sponsor. What a difference Barnabas made in John Mark's life. Can you think of anyone in your life who is patient and encouraging with you? How does it make you feel when you're around that person? Let me turn this around a little and ask you how you feel if you're with someone who's impatient with you and who's putting you down. Not so hot, right? Kind of the opposite. You and I can learn to be patient and encouraging with others too. God has worked really hard with me on patience and being encouraging. And I think I've gotten maybe a little bit better. But I can still be impatient, especially where computers are concerned. And sometimes I can be not so encouraging. At some point, though, I decided it wouldn't cost me very much to encourage others. I used to be impatient with cashiers, especially at our local Walmart. But when I looked at them, when I really, really looked at them, do you know what I saw? I saw some people who were trying their best and who were working really, really hard. And sometimes they looked pretty tired. I tried to look at them as Jesus might see them. So now I comment on that sometimes. Sometimes I'll ask them if they've had a long day, or if they're going to get off soon, or if they're going to get to go out in the sunshine soon. Or sometimes I'll even comment on the color of their hair if they've got funky hair color, because I really wish I had the guts to do that. Almost every time, they look back at me. They really look at me too and smile. You and I can make a big difference in someone's day by choosing to be encouraging. So that's your challenge for the week. It's kind of like your challenge last week was. See who you can encourage and see if you can say something that will make them smile. Don't just be silly. Think of something you can sincerely say to them that would be encouraging. Notice when someone encourages you too, and thank God for them, because they're so important in your life. Speaking of encouragement, I think we're going to be able to start again on November 30th. I'm so encouraged by the people who have stepped up and volunteered. You are going to really like them. Of course, all of this depends on what COVID does, but I think we're going to be able to start. Keep watching on the Facebook page to see if anything changes. but I'm praying that we can really get started. I love you guys, and we'll see you soon.